we need to work hard, but at the same time, we work hard, but we also need to be able to play hard and to enjoy time together, and that which leads us back to work more refreshed, more fulfilled, and the role of work doesn't trump my role as a father and a husband.
Give it all away. Oh, 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 oh. Give it all away.
It was an interesting statistic. There are companies in the United States. So the U.S. is unfortunately, we have the lowest amount of vacation given out of any country in the world in terms of work schedules. Yeah, which is a little depressing. But there are companies in the U.S. and around the world who give unlimited day vacation days, or just a very large amount. Google's one of them, right? Nobody even comes close to taking even a small amount of those days. And when I read that, I was like, man, you people need to get your priorities straight. Spend time with your families.
Yes.
And then at one point I was looking at the amount of vacation that I had accrued, and I was like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you the last time I'd actually taken. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good indication of how do I spend my time.
Yeah.
Like if I am given vacation days because my employer, because of law,
right,
because of some kind of moral statute at some point
right,
says I am forced to give you these days to make you more human,
right,
and I'm like, I'm good.
Right.
Like, why?
Yeah, those vacation days were not there because they're like, I mean, they're there for a reason. Right. It's more than just they're trying to follow the letter of the law. That they see that there's something important about you having time to rest, a time to get away.
Because it's human, and without that, number one, you're not as productive, right? So that's all. Money's always the bottom line. But like number two, you can't be human. Yeah. At some point, somebody along the lines of the labor laws decided like we got to help folks out. But like the truth of the matter is, we don't take it. Yeah. Even as Americans, we have the smallest amount of vacation, and we take the smallest amount of that vacation. And I think that, like I said, it's a good indicator that like, even something as simple as, and the reason we don't take it, if we're self-reflecting, it's because I assume that if I take it, my success as a human being, my fulfillment as a human being will somehow be hampered. Yeah. My ability to succeed and create will be hampered.
Or maybe there's a fear. Might be a fear on the side of work of like maybe then I won't be seen as productive.
Exactly.
And so then that might jeopardize my position, but also I might be afraid just to go home and be with my family like that.
Exactly.
And these are things that's not of God, right?
No.
And so it's again being called to have this time to reflect, to think about, okay, God, what are you asking me of? And if you're asking me to take some time off, then God, give me the grace to be able to ask for that time off, and so that I can be with my family. And there's going to be times where we're going to spend money on trips and things like that and do things, and the kids, they're going to, and sometimes it might not be good. Like a friend of mine, he got an RV, and he was driving his got 5 boys, and he took a picture of his son, just mad, upset, crying, and he wrote underneath that he says, I promised you memories, not happiness. Like it's like or something like that. So we're to the tune of like, but those memories, that's what they're going to remember.
That's right.
They're not going to remember all the times that they maybe got to go watch a show or play a video game, but they'll remember the time they worked together as a family.
Exactly.
And that can't be made possible if the father or the mother, the wife and husband take that time and initiate that, because of also what it's doing is teaching the children something about the importance of, yes, work is important and we need to work hard, but at the same time we work hard, but we also need to be able to play hard.
That's right.
And to enjoy time together, and that which leads us back to work more refreshed, more fulfilled, and directed that understanding the role of work doesn't trump my role as a father and a husband.
I think a good question to ask ourselves is, if I were to ask my kids, what do I like doing more? What do I feel is more important? Time with them or work?
Yeah.
Maybe I would ask my wife.
Yeah.
Is she number one?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a really good indicator, because they're going to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, I might ask my wife. Asking my kids, I might not ask my kids, but I got to be honest with what I think they're going to say.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
a hard question to ask.
It's a very hard question. It's a hard thing to relate, because I'll automatically be like, well, of course they know.
Yeah.
That's kind of like saying, of course they know that I love them.
Right.
Like, maybe.
No,
but if I'm reflecting on it,
yeah.
I've got to keep and I have to ask myself, what's more important to me, time with my kids or my work?
Yes.
How do my decisions reflect that or not? And I think, like I said, so one time I had planned on taking some vacation. It was actually after I read that Google article, and I was like, all right, I'm taking some days, and I'm going to attach them to like a 3-day weekend. So we have like a 5-day weekend.
Nice.
And we're going to go, and our plans completely fell through as to what we're going to go and spend money on, these kind of things. And so all we did was spend time at home. And I was like, well, this can be fruitless, you know? And of course, saying it out loud sounds ridiculous, but I wasn't saying it out loud.
I know.
And we ended up, it was just spending time at home with the kids.
Yeah.
They had an absolute ball, right?
Praise God.
Because I had already made the block that nobody was going to bother me and these kind of things. And we just did that at home.
Yeah.
And extended time with dad, really extended time with both parents in the same context, it changes the kids.
Yeah.
They become different kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I think going back to what you were saying earlier, like this recognition that just the simple being present, the simple being present and the simple giving of myself, the simple recognition that this is where life is lived.
Yes.
This is where God's grace becomes active.
Yeah.
This is where the rubber meets the road when it comes like if God's doing stuff, it's in that.
Yes.
A lot of times, like I said, the whole going back to the discernment aspect, what's God doing? What's His will?
Right.
It's like, you know what? I think we need to calm down with the big picture stuff. God, is it your will that I go to Africa, you know, and change the lives of 1 million people? It's like, you can't even sit with your kid for 10 minutes without looking at your phone, you know? Like, let's focus on what I've given you, the life that I've given you. You need help. I need help.
Yeah.
You know, I need His presence. I need to recognize who He is so that I can be a witness of that to my kids.
Remember, I believe here in Pope Francis talking about that as well. Is that the missionary fields? Sometimes it's our own homes.
Oh yes.
Like we think we got to go far out. It's like no, it's right there in front of us. It's the people living under our roof. It's our extended family because that's where we have great access to. I mean, in families, as dynamic as a family can be with all the different ages and stages and ranges of personalities, there's still this connecting, unifying factor that's in place that allows the gospel to be preached.
That's right.
And we can't deny that, and we can't turn away from that. And we can't just say, well, you know, prophet's not accepted in his own hometown. Well, yeah, true, but you know, I think Jesus said that, and I don't know if anybody else is Jesus but Jesus. So, but just try it. Just go out there and let Jesus be Jesus.
Right.
You plant the seed. You interact. You show love.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like maybe correcting someone. Maybe that might be part of it, but at the same time, it has to be done first and foremost that they have to understand that there's this love that's connecting the two of you together, more than just blood.
I think what makes it easier to go be Jesus to somebody outside the house or somebody outside the family, somebody that I've got a temporary relationship with.
It's temporary. It's easier.
I can walk away and be like, I was awesome. Or like I can, you know, and it's all potential too. Yeah. We're just talking ideas, you know, we're just talking like, where's this going to go after this? I don't know. I've planted the seed. You know, God's going to make it grow. Right. And it's like if I am at home, love becomes so complicated. Yeah. So complicated. And the discernment process of like, where do I go from here? And my lack of virtue becomes quite well known to everybody around. You know, like my capacity to be patient is growing so slowly and so organically and these kind of things. And God being a part of that process, if I don't understand it there, me talking to random so-and-so, you know, once or twice a week, it's fruitless. It's empty. It may feel good. It may feel like we're making all kind of progress. You know, the truth of the matter is, it's just talk. Yeah. You know, it's just talk. And I think,
and it won't be. And if whatever you do say won't, I think, produce the fruit if we ourselves are not living it at home.
Give it all away. Oh, oh.